By now, I'm sure you've heard of Pokemon Go. You go out into the real world and you catch Pokemon using your touchscreen device. Makes sense. But what if I told you Pokemon Go would have been possible on the Game Boy? You may think, did the Game Boy have a GPS? Wouldn't that have just been Pokemon Red or Blue? Or simply, but how? And they're all valid questions. You just need to get a little creative. Oh, and before I get into it, it's playable for yourself over at itch.io. Now the first step to making Pokemon Go Game Boy is actually making this little known Pokemon flash different colors. Believe it or not, this was actually critical to the game's functionality, and without it, could have severely derailed the project before it even started. But it works, so the video continues. Next up is the target indicator. Only 4 sprites and 14 unique animation frames are needed to make a shrinking target graphic. In my game, the target will move around rather than the Pokemon, as they are simply part of the background. Here we go. Wait, that doesn't even align to the Pokemon. Now this should work. I will be able to have different movement patterns as well. A target by itself isn't very interesting gameplay, so I began to work on the net to catch Pokemon. I really needed a way to get smooth, arc-like motion into my game, and luckily I had an example game to reference. A game called Polka Sheep by ZGB's creator, Zalo. It's actually quite fun to mess around with. I spent the next few hours trying to make sense of acum.y.w and acum.y.b.h, and I still don't know exactly what it is, but I think I get how it works. That's basically coding in a nutshell. Okay, so the net can now be thrown. Sweet, but it's hard to visualize without the net scaling with distance. Here we go. That looks more like what I'm going for. If I stop the net once it hits the target, it makes even more sense. Here are the different distances the Pokemon can be located. The net stops after a certain period of time to simulate distance. Ta-da! It'll obviously need some tweaking, but the catching system is mostly operational. You can move the net and toss it at a Pokemon. Yeah, that's basically it right now. The Game Boy is only allowed to hold 128 background tiles at a time. Pokemon 1 is already using up 49 tiles. Let's load up a second Pokemon and see how much background memory we have available. Oh my god, we only have 29 tiles left to make any UI or background elements. I'm a little concerned here, since I'd still like to display the chance to flee, a run icon, and a previously caught indicator. For now, let's display the name of the Pokemon. Whose favorite Pokemon is negative 14,443 M. That isn't really any closer. Ugh, that actually took me about an hour to get working. Basically coding in a nutshell. With that out of the way, it's time to actually start catching the Pokemon. In my game, the catch chance will be determined by 3 factors: the Pokemon's base catch rate, the target's size, and the throw rating, which is basically the distance to the center of the target. We're starting to run out of room down here, so let's get this all cleaned up. This is much better. I'm looking at my notes here, and it says that only 30% of you are subscribed to the channel. No wait, that was a typo. Only 3% of you are subscribed. Man, I would kill for 30%. So what do you say? Help a guy out? So life gets in the way, and it's now been 3 months since I've last worked on this project. Man, what was I even doing? Here's a list of everything I can think of that still needs to be finished. Naturally, I decided to work on one of the less important features, Pokemon spawn animations. Now, there are 6 ways a Pokemon can appear. They're alright. Next, I decided to finally finish up the catching level. I was planning to save this part since I didn't really feel like doing it, but I had to finally give in. Here, we have the previously caught indicator and the evolution percentage or something. I haven't decided what it's called yet. But anyways, I have completely used all 128 background tiles. This level is completely packed. Now all this time, we've been using Charizard and Venusaur in the game, but I don't actually own the rights to these. A shame, I know. Now, I'd like for Nintendo not to strike me down where I stand, so I created 19 custom Pokemon and commissioned their artwork. Everything turned out great, but now I need to actually convert them into a Game Boy format. This is taking forever, but I finally have one of my Pokemon in the game. Never mind, I guess not. Finally, everything has been converted. It turns out that working with only 4 colors, with 2 colors always being white and black, is quite difficult. That, and I vastly underestimated the size difference between my usual 16 pixel wide sprites and these 56 pixel wide sprites. The last piece of art for now is a puff of smoke for when the Pokemon runs away. Now, just like Darwin, I set my sights on evolution. Once you have enough DNA points, the Pokemon will evolve. All that is missing here is some kind of starburst effect. Wait, not that kind of starburst. Next, unlike Darwin, I worked on creating unique patterns for the target, as well as setting the catch rate for each Pokemon, as well as its chance to flee. I tried to make chance to flee make sense for each Pokemon. For example, Ratonio is never one to back down from a fight, and both Kindlet and Mosquito are quick to flee but easier to catch. With the catching minigame nearly complete, it's time to work on the world map. The first step was to create all the little sprites for the map. Trust me, they'll look better in color.
2 hours later.
Holy cow, man, that should not have been that rough, but whatever. I told you they'd look better in color though. Moving on, I created the player sprite and copied over the movement code from Remote Control Shuriken. Ta-da! He's done. Wait. I can't move left or right. Let's just move on. Look at all the little Pokemon walking around. It looks so good. After some major cleanup, the game is now actually functional rather than separate scenes. You can encounter a Pokemon, catch it, and go back to the map. Pretty much what you'd expect to happen. I then began to work on a zoomed in map. When the map is zoomed in, it'll feel more like you're exploring the world. Some of the Pokemon are loading correctly. Wait, that's me. That's weird. Which Pokemon is he supposed to be? Oh, nothing. It's basically a missing no. Alright, all of the art is working now, but that's not the point. I was finally able to get it working where when you zoom in or out, the Pokemon stay relative to where they should be. This is incredible since it no longer feels like 2 different levels, but rather like you're actually zooming in on the world. I thought it might be nice to disable the Pokemon as they pass over the UI. The Game Boy Discord provided me some code, and the map is now completely blank. I could A, try and figure out the proper interrupt code, or B, just say never mind. Moving on, the art for the zoomed out map is now created. The Pokemon are a little hard to see, but otherwise it looks really good. The entire map is created from only 32 unique tiles for reasons no one cares about. Breaking news! I'm tired. I spent the entire day working on the zoomed in map art. Everything is placed correctly to simulate the effect of zooming in. Not much else to say here, except I'm very happy with the results so far. The last major thing to work on was the music. Oh god, whose idea was it to play them all at once? I can't forget to mention that I finished the Pokedex, added Like You spawning, finished the title screen, and added a little tutorial. And just like that, the game is complete. It's playable over at itch.io as a web version or an actual Game Boy ROM. I'd love to hear your feedback. Let me know in the comments if there's any game you'd like to see made into a Game Boy game. Yeah, that's a good enough outro. Well, I'll catch you guys next time. Adios.